Yo, what up, listeners, viewers? Hopefully, y'all doing good today. It's a hot day outside in Springfield, my native, my native city, where I'm from, where I grew up at, where I've been all my life. It's hot out here, 90 degrees. What up, Springfield? It's your boy Yayo, Keo Collins. About to drop a little something that I hope can be beneficial to you. Take what you can, leave the rest. Some can take it all. Some gonna agree with everything I say. I hope a lot of people agree with everything I say, but only for their benefit and the edification of the Lord. Some things knowledge puffs up, but love edifies. Knowledge puffs up. You get knowledge, you think you somebody because you can spell a couple words and you know a couple big words and you know a couple things. Puff you up and get prideful, you'll be just like the devil, thrown out of God's kingdom, thrown out of God's willingness to be your father because you prideful. In the same breath, though, listen, for the lack of knowledge, my people perish. So you got to have a balance. There's a balance within that, within those two scriptures between the Lord. For the lack of knowledge, my people perish. So it's not a contradiction that's in the Bible. Some people will think everything is a contradiction. This is a contradiction. That is. No, there's a balance between the two. How much knowledge do you have and what is it beneficial for and who is it beneficial to? And how much love do you have and what do you have the knowledge for? What are you using your knowledge for? Knowledge is beneficial, but what are you using it for? Who is it helping? Who is it benefiting? But anyway, that's kind of off the subject what I'm speaking on today. This is my first video. It's long overdue. I've been in the process with God of the making of a man of God, the making of a man of God for 21 years maybe. Walking with the Lord to be able to sit here and make this videotape, this section. I'm going to make many more to come. This is just the beginning. Tune in, man. Gotta learn something. Learn something. That's what I say. Learn something, man. God has taught me very well. And I don't just speak these words. I use it in my life. The things that I'm telling you, we're going to talk about today. Surrender. Who to surrender to. Why must we surrender? And who do we surrender to? Why must we surrender? When do we surrender? How do we surrender? Because my first book is out there. As we know, it's been published for about 8 months. It's doing well. My surrender is never was a statement that I made. And that would seem contradictory because in my book, My Surrender Is Never, I did say that I surrender to God, which is the only person, being, thing, people, place, person, thing, being that I will surrender to. So that would seem to be contradictory because I said, but my surrender is unto God. So take it for what it's worth. My surrender is never, because I wanted this statement to be that bold. My surrender is never, but in the same breath I wanted to say, but I will surrender to God. Just like knowledge puffs up, love edifies, but for the lack of knowledge, my people perish. You know what I'm saying? Two bold statements. You got to have a balance. So I got to have a balance when I surrender. I got to know when to surrender, because my surrender is never, but I got to know when to surrender, who to surrender to, and why to surrender. Let's get into that. Why to surrender, who to surrender to, and when to surrender, because my surrender is never but only to God. Let's do it, man. God is good. It's hard to surrender to God being a black man, though. You don't want to surrender. That word surrender. You don't want to surrender because of all we've been through in the past, people. My book, back to the book for a second. My Surrender Is Never, part volume 1, pretty deep book. My Surrender Is Never, volume 1. It can be purchased on lulu.com, LULU.com. Then you look up my name, you'll see Keo Collins, KEOUGH, COLLINS, and then you push shop, SHOP, and you can buy the book. For those who are around in the Springfield area, I have the book on me at all times. Just see me, and you can get the book off me for $12. A lot of people are buying it, a lot of people are liking it. I thank God for the progress and helping me create the project. My Surrender Is Never, the book. Many more books to come. It's just the beginning. Thank God. Let's see. My Surrender Is Never. Surrender. Surrender is a verb used with an object to yield something to possession or power of another. Deliver up possession of a demand or under duress, to give or surrender to force. To surrender all and give up. Surrender meaning to give up. So why would you give up? And what is the meaning of giving up? See, first of all, we got the flesh. And the flesh must surrender to God. The flesh meaning the five senses that we have. The eyes that we see with, the nose that we smell with, the mouth that we taste with, the ears that we hear with, and the things that we touch. The five senses has to surrender under God, who you call God, whoever that may be. I don't force religion on anyone. I'm a spiritual person first, and I don't force I'm spiritual. I don't force religion on anyone. So whoever that God may be, you have to surrender. And if you have no God, most likely you're surrendering unto the devil and the attributes of the devil. And we'll get more into that. So like I said, surrender. The flesh must surrender. The five senses must surrender. What you see has to be, I see, and I comprehend what I see, and it has to be godly. You have to come to a place where you're naturally supernatural. Naturally supernatural. Naturally supernatural meaning that all things that you do edify the Lord. Playing basketball, when you go to work, when you go to school for the younger kids, everything you do, when you drive your car, you're driving somewhere, and what you're doing driving that car is beneficial to the Lord. Every word that you speak out of your mouth, your taste, when you're not doing that, the flesh is consuming you, therefore is the attribute of the devil, so your flesh is in control and you haven't surrendered, haven't let God break down the flesh, so you haven't surrendered to God and enabled him to help you break down your flesh, because we do need help, and that's the spirit. The spirit doesn't have to surrender to God. The spirit has to coincide with God's spirit, therefore bearing witness that your spirit is of God, as he builds you and molds you into an image, a spiritual image that is now naturally supernatural, because all things that you do now is unto the glory of God. Like I said, walking down the street, there's body language. Your walk represents and says that I'm of God. When I taste food, man doesn't live. How does it go? Man doesn't live for the food. It's food. Food helps man to live. Excuse me. Food is for man to survive, so they eat food. But man doesn't live to eat food. Food is there so the man that can survive, so they eat. But man doesn't live to eat. That's greedy. Your flesh is greedy. All the aspects of your flesh and your five senses is greedy. You have to allow God to break down your senses and your flesh to whereas it's not greedy and it becomes naturally supernatural. Your eyes have to see how God would have you to see, else you are blind. And you can't see. You see, but you cannot comprehend. You hear, but you're not hearing correctly. You cannot comprehend. You touch. It's just like I say, like Facebook. Facebook, it's a thing. It becomes typing at one point. You typing this, you typing that. But then it becomes touch when it's a physical fight over something that was typed or over something that was said in writing. Now it's alive because it touches. Facebook is alive. Facebook is a verb. It's not something you're typing anymore. Now you're touching this person and fighting this person. Same thing with the touch. The touch can be gentle and healing. The hands, a piso, is healing. How you doing? Shake your hand. Or the touch can be violent. These hands can commit murder and death, or they can be soothing. It depends on if you surrender to God. So touch, taste, how you taste food. You're not greedy for food, but you eat to survive. And what you smell. It doesn't make you and drive you crazy. Oh, that smells so good. I love that. Some people say I love food. The flesh is overtaking it. The things you hear, you're not gonna let anything come into your mind and sit there. The things you hear. Now you know what sounds godly and what doesn't sound godly, what sounds right and what doesn't sound correct. So you won't let anything just take root in your mind and therefore manifest. Which manifest means to come alive eventually. You know what I'm saying? In your mind. So now you begin to hear correctly. You become supernatural in everything you do. Like I said, playing football, playing basketball, even when you play the video game. You know what I'm saying? You're not cursing and going crazy anymore. It's just like, okay, you know what I'm saying? You can still talk. You can still vibe. Okay. But every word that comes out your mouth is not a swear. Or this fucking, it's not your master. That video game's not your master. That basketball game's not your master. That car's not your master. That thought is not your master. That food is not your master. What you see from your eyes, that building, how beautiful it is not your master. To some, these things are their master. They have not surrendered to God or the Spirit of God or the Spirit that's within them. They surrender to the flesh and the five senses. Now, the Spirit of God, some people serve the Spirit of God already, but they haven't surrendered to the Spirit of God yet. And what I mean by that, they serve the characteristics of God. The characteristics of God, meaning the name of God. The name of God, meaning when you say God, what do you think of? His characteristics. That's the name of God. That's why when you're in the streets and you get a nickname, who is this person? Stinky. Something about him stink. Usually something about he doodled on himself before, something real talk. Or smelly, or Jive Turkey, whatever. He is Jive Turkey for real. He always coming with some game. That's his name. His name is what makes him into the person he is. God's characteristics, some of them are long-suffering, peace, patience, love, kindness. And against these things there is no law. I'll explain more about the law later. Now, against these things there is no law. Some people serve those things, but they haven't surrendered to those things. By surrendering those things, you come closer to God, and you, through the Spirit, and when you connect with God's Spirit, you become on your way, because you serve them things, but you got to surrender to those things as being of God, and rebuke the characteristics of the devil, which are hate, which are jealousy, pride, envy, malice, stress, strife. Those things corrupt, and those things will happen because we are of the flesh. We are born of the flesh. They will rise up. You rebuke them and bash them down. You don't want to be like that. You want to be like the latter, which I spoke of. You want to be the long-suffering, peace, patience, kindness. But just having those qualities, because we all have both qualities and both tendencies, because the Spirit of God is alive and well. Adam blew the breath of life in you, the Spirit of God in you. So you have the Spirit of God, but you have to surrender to one and rebuke the other. There is no in-between. Surrender to one and hate the other. That's what I'm talking about. We all do both, but some do one more than the other. So you have these qualities, both sides. The devil's qualities and thoughts and God's qualities and thoughts for who you surrender to. In the process that I said, the goal is to become naturally supernatural, while everything you do is glorifying God through those spirits and characteristics which make up his name. Even though to speak of his name, just like his name, Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah Nisi, Jehovah Rapha, they mean something. They show his characteristics. Same thing with the Spirit of God. They show his characteristics, his name. Thank you, Lord. That was deep. Now, some people, the law. Against those things in the Spirit, the love, the peace, the joy, the happiness, there is no law. These things overcome law. Just like they said about the Lord in the Bible, Jesus Christ. And I don't want to bore y'all to hate me because I'm speaking of Jesus Christ. I love Jesus Christ, to each his own. Don't be offended, please. You want to offend me, Muslim. You want to offend me, atheist. You want to offend me, Jehovah's Witnesses. You want to offend me, Muslim. Don't get offended by me. I love Jesus. But I'm spiritual first. Spiritual, not first maybe, but I'm very spiritual, and I don't push myself on anybody in that aspect of religion. Religion can be very terrible. This is why I choose to be the way that I am when I speak and do my thing, and when I live and do my thing. Thank you, though. Lord. But the law, some people serve the law. They surrender to the law. The law meaning the 10 Commandments and all the commandments that's in the Bible. They serve it. So, by serving the law, they don't leave room for error outside of the law. They don't leave room for perfection outside of the law. They don't leave room for God's love. That's why when Jesus Christ, it was supposed to be a holy day. And Jesus Christ, still, he wasn't supposed to heal somebody on that day. You don't heal on that day. You don't do anything on that day. I'm not quoting this, but I'm making a point. You don't heal on that day. This is against the law of the Bible that was created in the Old Testament. But Jesus Christ said, I heal on that day because I don't surrender to the law. I surrender to the Spirit of God. Jesus Christ was connected with the Spirit of God, his Father in heaven, therefore being much more capable of love than the law. So some people submit to the law and they surrender to the law and they can't get out of the aspect of the law. But that's a whole nother, that goes into something that I might speak on. I'll speak on that in another segment at another time about the law versus grace. Grace is unmerited favor, something that's given to you that you don't deserve. You don't deserve this. Pat on the back. You've been messing up, effing up. Here, but I'm gonna give you a pat on the back. You don't deserve this. You don't deserve this. Hi, how you doing, yo? You were such a good person. Whatever you've been doing, so you've been messing up. But here's a pat on the back. Somebody give you that, and you're like, wow, I ain't even deserve that. It usually prompts men to do well because they know they ain't deserve it. Then whoever gave them that is seen as some sort of prophet, like some sort of special God, some kind of. That's how God does us. He gives us something through Jesus Christ that we don't deserve, and then we give back that same thing to the world that they don't deserve. So as Jesus Christ gives me, a lot of people don't like me. They talk about me bad. My reputation ain't the best reputation. You know what I'm saying? Not for no street killer, this guy, that guy. But I know what I'm talking about right now, and I know that I've been with God for a long time, and he's been raising up the man-child, a man of God. I know what I'm speaking on right now. Thank God. But a lot of people got this, that to say. You know what I'm saying? I've been through a lot. Oh, he be drinking. My drinking is under control right now. Praise be to God. God is good. So, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about all of it. We're going to talk about the making of a man of God who I am today. But what I'm saying is, I need to forgive them as God forgives me for the things that I do, that I don't deserve that forgiveness for some of the things that I do and say, man. I need to forgive those who forgive me. So it's like a chain reaction. God forgives me, then I forgive, because I don't got no beef or nothing bad to say about nobody in Springfield and nobody else nowhere else, because I don't be there. But I hope y'all listen to my videos, man. I got many more to come, but especially in Springfield, I don't got no beef with nobody. If you got beef with me, see me, you can handle. If I owe you an apology, you'll get it. But some people will never get that apology. They ride by in their little car with the giving me the gas face, riding by. What they gonna do? Oh, they don't like me. You'll never get the apology that you might deserve. And some people just go by hearsay. They heard this, they heard that. What have you heard? Do you really know me? Get to know me. You know what I'm saying? Check this out. This is what I'm about. This will make me. This is what makes my day. Being able to speak these words right here, hopefully edifying those who hear. Not just hear, like I said, hearing with the natural ear, the flesh. It's not hearing at all. You haven't surrendered to God. You haven't. Your ears are not naturally supernatural, but hearing and comprehending a godly message is of God. You haven't even tasted your food before if you're not of God. Tasting it. Really tasting it, because it's not, even though it's not just the physical food that you eat, it becomes spiritual manna, the food that you eat from God. That's what it says. Give us this day our daily bread. But anyway, some people worship the created thing instead of the creator. That's what they was doing in the law. They was certain the created thing was the law. God created the law. So they worshipped it. God created that law. God created the Sabbath day. God created when you can heal, what they should do. But who you should serve, the created thing or the creator of that thing? I would say the creator of that thing. Therefore, they worshiped the wrong thing. They served and surrendered unto the wrong thing. They didn't surrender unto the Creator, but to Creator. Some people worship the sun. They worship it. They worship the moon. They worship Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. It should not be. These things can be changed. The sun revolving around the earth 365 days can be changed. It can take 500, 1,000 days if God give the word. 1 plus 1, if God say 1 plus 1 is 80,000, I believe God and not man. Who should I serve, God and not man? So I surrender unto the Creator God. Yeah, the Creator, not the things that He created. This is the problem when you surrender unto these things. Let's get into my book a little bit. Surrender, a verb used with an object to yield something to a possession or power of another, deliver a possession of, on demand or under duress. Or under duress. So the timing is when the surrender is now. Because you don't have time, there's duress. You got to do this now. Something is calling you and prompting you to do this now. And I hope that partially that's me right now. You don't have time to make up your mind and stay in between. There is no in between because of the spiritual characteristics that these things manifest and take place as. They take place as a thought. They take place as your wife. They take place as, like I said, a thought. The Spirit of God versus the spirit and characteristics of the devil. You serving one of them, you have surrendered to one of them. You're under duress. Death will come upon every man. It's promised to you in the Bible. So, who you surrender to now, while you're on earth and you have the chance to surrender to something, and you're surrendering right now to something. Help me let you understand that you are surrendering, have surrendered to something, and it is your master, whatever you have surrendered unto. It is your master. You are under duress. To give or surrender to fork, give in. So I would say give in to God. The Lord above is my keeper and master. I shall humbly bow down and surrender to Him in all His stature. I will never surrender to a man. Never. I want to. Who should I serve, God or man? You ain't my master. Some of these young kids that's in these gangs, their gang leader is their master. They get jumped in. They follow a man. That's why I say in Springfield, there wasn't even no gangs when I was growing up. It was cliques and blocks. We was hard-headed. We was all equal. We all was blocks and cliques. That was my man. We was selling enough drugs to my shame. Trying to make up now the young men need to see. You know what I'm saying? I like to help the young man now. I was doing the wrong thing. But I wasn't going to listen to somebody that said, go kill him. I'm the gang leader. Nah, that's in the West Coast, bruh. In Springfield, ain't nobody telling me, brother, you tell me to go kill somebody, I'm not surrendering. Who is you, the master? I might kill you, nigga. You better get on my face. But anyway, it wasn't like that in Springfield, man. Springfield, come on, man. Stand up. The OGs, man. We got to help these young kids. They don't know. Now it's all these gangs. They're surrendering unto. That's your master or something? Why you listening to him? Who is he? But anyways, man, it's deeper than that. That's surrender to people. Know who should I serve, God or should I serve man? I should serve God. I will never surrender to a man. I will never surrender to the sun. Talking about the sun in the sky. It's a created thing. The flesh, we spoke on the flesh. Won't surrender to it. All of them evil ways. The devil, I won't surrender to him. Never. In all of his evil ways. He comes with a lot of attributes because the earth was somewhat given to Satan. All these things in the earth are so tempting through our five senses. It's easy to surrender to those things, and then he'll ease you in and reel you in. Then you'll know him as a person. In the first state, you'll know him as thoughts. You'll know them as pride, envy, strife, lust, sedition, hate, bringing up wars. But you won't know him as that person until later on. Then he'll say, I'm the person who created these things and control these things. That little quiet, that voice in you don't think on your own. We have a conscience. You don't think on your own. There's little thoughts that is put in there. Do this, think this. Envy, strife, just put in there. There's a person. And the person is called Lucifer. Then there's the devil, which is different. Then there's Satan, which is different. More evil people. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of evil out here, man. You know what I'm saying? So There's a person creating all of these evil thoughts that's helping to create all these evil thoughts. Surrender to God, He'll help you become naturally supernatural, and you'll be the Spirit of God, bear witness with your spirit. Then your spirit is stronger than the evil that's trying to conquer you. Yeah, it's stronger than love is stronger than hate. And then you'll be long suffering, peace, kindness, joy. And against such things there is no control. There is no control. There is no law. There is no the devil stronger than you. Now you be stronger than him. Thank you, Lord. Circumstances, I won't surrender to them, because God can overcome any circumstance. Physical slavery, I won't surrender to that. As some people did, they surrendered to physical slavery or modern day slavery. I won't surrender to that. They surrendered to physical slavery because some was in the house niggas. Some was in the fields nigga working. They got whipped and lashed for basically anything that wasn't surrendering unto the master, which was the white man at the time. The majority of them was the white man at the time. If they didn't do exactly what their master said, they got whipped and lynched. But if they knew of a God that was of a higher statue than that master, and they really in their heart was surrendering unto that God, when they got whipped and killed and sent to heaven, they found who they was looking for. So they didn't surrender to that master. They didn't surrender to physical slavery. But some said, try to be slave, and they loved that master. And they catered to that master. They didn't see no way out higher than him. They didn't receive the spirit, that flesh. They wanted to eat so bad that they didn't see nothing higher than eating. They only seen what their eyes see. Faith is the evidence of things hoped for, yet not seen. Can't even quote that right. I'm quoting it somewhat. So all they seen was right in front of their face. They didn't see nothing farther than what they seen. All they seen, they surrendered to physical slavery. I won't. All they heard was what they heard. They didn't comprehend things that were higher, of a higher comprehension than just that farm that they was on. So therefore, they died in physical slavery, and they didn't make it where they could have made it with the slave that was on the field. A lot of those house niggas, because all they seen was their situation and no way out, when God gave them a way out through the Spirit of God. His Spirit and His name, His characteristic. You can still be saved inside of physical slavery. And some of them people got whipped and sent to heaven. Glory be to God. Modern day slavery. Oh, you can't surrender to that. But we're all caught up in modern day slavery. Every black man. We still slaves, man. It's modern day slavery. There's a thing called white privilege. Whites got the upper hand, and it's not that we're all called whites out, really, because really it's the monstrous system, the system. You know what I mean? It's the system that we live under. The majority of it being controlled by whites, so it's the system. But I won't let that control me. I won't surrender to modern day slavery. Jail systems. No, I've been in jail before. I didn't surrender to that. I was one of those caged birds that sing. In jail, but still serving the Lord type thing. I'm always going to serve the Lord. I don't plan on going back to jail. Who knows what can happen in this world that we live in. If I go back, they're going to think they got me locked up. But I'm one of those caged birds that's in a cage, still singing, man. My surrender is only unto the Lord. Only. That's the point I'm making right now. I won't surrender to circumstances, physical slavery, modern day slavery, nor death. For Jesus Christ has overcome the death, the sting. Death has lost its sting. When somebody dies and comes back and gets back up out of the grave, death has lost its sting. I'm up. Thought they killed him. I'm up. Nah, you didn't kill me. I'm up. Death has lost its sting. So I ain't got to surrender to death. I die and I'm coming back. I'll be back. That's the promises in what we have in the Lord. Give me a second. Excuse me for that. My first video. There's many more to come. I hope y'all get something out of it. Who to surrender to, why to surrender, how to surrender. Now, We're going to talk about society because we was talking about modern day slavery. Society because we was talking about society because we was talking about, do we have an in-between that we ain't got to surrender? You surrendered to somebody already. You only got two choices: to surrender to the devil and his attributes, or God and his spirit and his attributes. Society is about to take over. The new world order is coming fast. The choices that you have now are limited. You think it's a free for the land of the freedom and the brave forever, whatever. You're a grand old flag. We free. We ain't free. And the choices that we have is going to be less and less and less. That's the secret they got. That's what they talking about. They want to own and control you. They want you to, but right now it's sneaky. You don't know. They don't know. So they want you to surrender to the attributes of the devil. Because they know you won't surrender to the devil or Lucifer. Because we, especially a black man, because we too smart for that. We don't want to be devil, but you living under his attributes. You doing the things. Your eyes is corrupted and the flesh is controlling you. Your mouth and what you speak. What comes out of your mouth is death unto you. Your tongue boasts great things of the devil. You hear and see only what you see in front of you. Faith is unseen. Faith is something you can't see. There's a spirit, invisible realm you can't see that the devil is working in. The man, the devil. Not the attributes of the devil. And then when it's too late, and when it's at the end, which is drawing near society, then they're going to spring on them. Ha ha ha, it's going to be that evil. A person, the devil. A person. Not these people, the flesh that we see. It's not by might nor power, by the Spirit, saith the Lord. And it's not about these people you see. We're puppets in a big game called life. Life is here today and gone tomorrow. Get it right. This is only temporal. Death is forever. So yeah, get it right. Learn who you serve and who you have surrendered to. So, society in this new world order, or you surrender to God. Surrendering to God, God wants you to surrender to him because he is your master and he don't play that. You're going to surrender to me. You're going to have to really surrender and do what he says do. But it's great things. And as you surrender to him, he'll give you your life back when he teaches you how to be supernatural and a good man, a man of God, the man of God. Then he'll say, go ahead, walk your life, live your life. And then as you surrender the man of God, the woman of God will surrender unto you. You'll go to God and get it. She'll come to you to get it. And that's how it comes down. From God to you, the man of God, the woman of God gets it for you. And if you don't do her right, mistreat her and dog her out, she's going to bypass the man of God and go to God up in heaven, which is what's been happening too often in the black community. The black man is destroyed, destruct, in jail, and dead, and nothing. The crackhead, the drunk. And these women are going directly to God, which is not how it's really supposed to be. But anyway, getting back to surrender, but that's the way it has been. The woman, the backbone of the broken down ghetto and society that we live in. It's not right. Let's get it right, man. Stand up. Surrender to God. He don't want you to surrender forever. You my master. He ain't the white man that enslaved us. You my master. You my master. So he can say you my master. No, he want to teach you something. Get you right. Throw you back out there when you on your own. Now you on your own. Go to job, but no. You work unto me when you work that job. Go to basketball court. You play unto me when you play that sport. You play that sport playing unto me. Drive that car. Hope you're going somewhere to spread the good news when you drive that car. Do you see what everybody else see? The shootings, the mugging? No. I see above that. I see as blessings go up, praises go up, blessings come down. I don't see the situation that I'm in. My eyes that seen the fleshly thing, I now see the spirit. I'm naturally supernatural. Yes, you're still my master, but you didn't do this mastership thing to control me. You love me. So I surrender to him. Everybody else that wants you to surrender, all of these other things, all of these other thoughts, all of these people at these jobs, all of these fancy cars that you love, the thing that you go to sleep and think about the most at night, usually you surrender to that and that's your master. And when you wake up in the morning and the first thing you think about, that's your master. See, when I go to sleep at night, I pray the last thing I do. And all during the day, he's my master. When I wake up in the morning, first thing I do, praise the Lord. Say that prayer because he's my master and I surrender to him. Get it right. Think of the thoughts that possess you. That's your master. Think of the things that possess you. That's your master. Think of the attributes that you contain and speak of and personate. Personate? I ain't saying it right. That comes off of you. The vibe that comes off of you. You surrender to somebody, and that's what's making you do that and act that way. As I put up my black flag, diminishing any white flag speaks of a young, gifted, determined black man who is proud to be black. The black flag that I speak of course, is the black flag portrayed by the Black Panther Party. I speak of it, of course, Black Panther Party, with the strength that this black flag brings. It diminishes the idealism of a red, white, and blue flag, which in my book is just a white flag. I don't care about the colors. White people controlling this flag. You're a grand old flag, peace may you wave. They did us dirty, man. Definitely ain't surrendering to them and this new world order or society. I got a poem, because I'm going to be sharing a lot of this stuff on my book, My Surrender Is Never Part 1. One of the poems in it is called Crooked Society or something like that. You white society. I'm not surrendering to society. I don't like society. I'm not a part of society. God is not this society. I'm a rebel. I rebel against society because it's not right. The Constitution somewhat is right, but they don't follow it. They break their own laws and rules. So I will follow God unto the end. And death has no power over me. When I die, I will stand up again and say, thank you, Lord. Death has lost its sting. I will not surrender to this white man in this society that I live in. You shouldn't either. Learn something. At least, which kills the false sense of power and false pride that it has in my life. This is not the land of the free. I'm not free, but yet I am brave. This is not the land that I love. And I personally will not surrender to it. Nah, I will always surrender to Jesus Christ, who has made a conscious decision to surrender for all. He surrendered for everybody in this world. He surrendered. Unlike many, I thank God that I have the understanding to realize that though Jesus was murdered by the hands of common men, his submission was really to the Father and not man. Like most martyrs, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Kennedy, men killed him. But really God allowed that to happen because they surrendered already to the Father in heaven. Just like Jesus, a martyr. These martyrs wasn't surrendering to these men. They could care less with these men and the power that these men proclaim to have. For thou is the kingdom, thou is the power, and thou is the glory forever. Hey, it's going to come to pass. It's taking some time. Be patient. These martyrs ain't died for nothing. Jesus ain't died for nothing. Some might ignorantly say that Jesus surrendered and gave in to a man. But I realized that he was doing whatever was pleasing to God, whatever that might be, which just happened to be dying on a cross. Jesus submitting to the flesh and those same demons and all the other circumstances, that was a secondary nature. That's like the house nigga and the field nigga. You only see with your eyes, you only see what's in front of you. Oh, the King of Jews died. How he the son of God? He don't got no power. The men just slayed him and threw him on a cross. Well, howdy, look at them house niggas down there. They ain't getting none of this good old pie. They singing them stupid songs, wade in the water, thinking that a God gonna come. Man, listen, man, I'm in the house. I'm doing good. I get some booty when I want it sometimes. You know what I'm saying? They in that house, man, living it up. And that's all they gonna have is living it up in that house. In the future, to be told, as we will see, to be continued, they will not benefit from the fruits and the labor of their hearts. They surrendered to the wrong thing. They couldn't see past their flesh. They didn't let their flesh be killed. They were fleshly. They were not spiritual or naturally supernatural. This was not the action of a weak man, Jesus Christ, giving in. It was actually a showcase of his strength. Right. Excuse me once again. Alright, let's get it. It's hot out there today, man. 90-something degrees. What's today? Y'all know what today is. Y'all gonna see the video. It's hot. Word, but this knowledge is dripping like a fountain. Let's get it, y'all. I love y'all, man. I hope y'all get this, man. I hope y'all understand the time is now. We're under duress. You gotta give in. They right on your boots. They on your heels. The devil in God, like who you gonna serve? Thoughts, in actions, in attributes. These lead up to God and who God is. The attributes of God. So you could say I don't serve neither one. You serve the attributes of one of them regardless, leading up to the person. And one day, you see right now as a glass in a mirror. You'll see half. You don't see the whole picture. But one day, you'll see both of these men as men. You'll see a person, the Father. You'll see a person, the devil. Right now, we all serve the attributes of these things. But you can have the Spirit which bears witness to your spirit that God exists. And some people got the devil. They done met the devil to the highest. All of these cults, these vampires, these people. Oh, it's evil, evil, evil. They want to meet that devil, that Lucifer, so bad. They trying, yo. They trying to deceive us, man. We can't be deceived. We know he exists. Faith is the evidence of things hoped for. The faith is the sight of things hoped for, the evidence unseen. So we got to know that a spiritual realm, an invisible kingdom exists. It's invisible. You can't see it with your eyes, only with your heart. All of your five senses can bear witness that this is true if you allow God to bring you into the truth of this invisible kingdom. Surrender, man, to something. For myself, bowing down on one knee is somewhat of a metaphor. This act is a gesture. Bowing down on two knees is a clear sign of surrender. It's like waving a white flag or saying the words, "You are my master, I give up." I only bow down on two knees when I'm praying to God. Or if I have to. Like, you know, if you're doing gardening or something, and you got to bow down to plant the seed, I bow down, I'll be like, dang, I ain't want to bow down, but I bow. I don't like this shit, because a lot of blacks don't, it's like, I'm surrendering. But I only do that unto God. I surrender unto God every time I pray on two knees, but not to, I'm trying, nah. So, I wrote that in my book. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that. I don't like that feeling. I don't like that feeling of surrender. Partially maybe because I'm a black man, and how the cards that we was dealt back in the past, thousands of years, or partially just because I know the devil, and I don't want him thinking, because they see us, man. They see us, they know us, they watch us. I definitely don't want to give him no wrong ideas thinking that I'm bowing down to him. He know better than that anyway. He know there's nothing here. My surrender is never. He know my surrender is never. If the devil don't know you, and God sometimes don't know you, because God said, "Get away from me, you evildoers." Get away from me, you evildoers. I don't know you. In the Bible, I'm not even quoting that. He said, "Get away from me, you evildoers." I don't know. So if God don't know you, and the devil don't know you, especially if the devil don't know you, ain't kicking up no dust. What is you doing? You really trying to be in the middle. You just gonna live, go to work, have your little family, have fun, go to the park, be merry, okie dory. This is life. It's love. I don't go to church. I don't think about that church stuff. No religion. Religion's too confusion. It's just, I'm just gonna live my life by this and it, man. You in the middle. There was a parable. God gave some people some coins. I ain't quoting this. People that had the coins, he said, "Go bring back more with the coins I give you. Go make this into more coins." One man said he hid the coins in the dirt and buried it because he didn't want to lose them, because he said, "God is a hard man. If I lose these coins, I'm going to be in trouble." And the other man came back with more coins than God gave him. God gave him like 5. He came back with like 15. God said, "Yes. What much is given to you, much is expected. Much has been given to you, y'all, the listener. Life, much is expected." You ain't in no middle. Bring back more than what God gave you. He gave you life. Bring back another life that you helped get there. That you helped kick some knowledge to, or gave some love to, or gave some life to, or gave some food to. Bring back more. The other one said he hid this in the dirt. God dealt with him viciously, man. God didn't like that. He hid it and brought back the same amount of coin. That's all you doing if you trying to be in the middle. It ain't going to work for you in the long run. Nah. Other times, though, I bow down on two knees in total reverence to God. This is coming out of my book. Once again, it's only a gesture that I make unto God, showing him that I will clearly surrender to him. Just a gesture. I will wave the white flag to God. I will recognize your mastership. But at the same time, telling God that I will never surrender to the world and all its kingdoms, along with the devil's mastership. Forget the devil. He won't get me to bow down to him or these kingdoms. None of these wars. None of the beauties of the world. All these buildings. None of even the trees and the God created them. I love it. I love what. It's not the world that's messed up, yo. The world is beautiful, but the people, man. The people. Come on, people, man. Be a peace sower, man. Stop beefing. Stop the violence. Surrender to God. Get it right, man. We be out of here. Especially black people should know better. Black people been through a lot, man. I'm with y'all, man. I know this is about to come up right here in the book why y'all don't want to surrender. But God, you surrender to God, He gonna give you your life back. It's gonna be much better, man. I don't blame y'all for not wanting to surrender to white people. You know what I'm saying, for what we've been through. But you got to get over that fear of surrendering. You still got to surrender to God. And no, Jesus Christ is not white. We gonna talk about it later, man. No, He's not white with blue eyes, yo. And a lot of the people that talk about the Bible, they misinterpret the Bible. So it's not that the Bible's messed up. Read for yourself. Open it up. It's that they interpret the scriptures right. They don't even follow the Bible that they call themselves telling you about. So therefore you get all these discrepancies. But no, He's not white with blue eyes. And you wasn't even supposed to make a picture of Him, the Bible says, or a likeness of anything in heaven. All of them angel statues that you see, them white people in the Catholic Church, they wasn't supposed to create that stuff. That white idea, so you got to surrender to God, the true and living God. So let's find out who that is, man. Surrender to Him, man. He got a spirit. You got a spirit. I know you want to love. I know you got patience. You've been patient before. I know you got kindness. I know you got joy. I know you got happiness. You know what I'm saying? These are the things that you got to serve by the Spirit of God. And serving those things, you will meet God the Father through the Spirit. And then one day, face to face, you will meet Him. But those are the attributes that He's allowing you to have. All of those attributes come from God. You can't even smile without God allowing you to smile. Your smile came from God. The devil don't be smiling. All them other attributes, hate, lust, envy, all of those things, get rid of it, man. It's not of God. It's going to catch up with you in the long run. It's going to catch up with you. So, man, that's not how you want to be. I believe that a lot of black people have a problem with surrendering to the Almighty because of the lack of power that we were able to display in past circumstances, which I won't go into too much. Nevertheless, choosing our master is a decision that every man and woman must make. Every man and woman. Unfortunately, we are not the masters of our own fate. Our fate depends on the path that we choose to follow. The path of the traitor who traded on God and got sent out onto earth to bother us, or the path of the Creator who created us in the likeness and image of Himself. Likeness and image of Himself. So we like God? We can be, or we could be a totally different another animal that's nothing like Him. We have the opportunity to be like God because we were created in the likeness and image of God. And that spirit that we have of God that gives us the joy, the peace, the love, the kindness, that's the spirit that He blew into Adam. We all have that much of Spirit of God. We all got a portion of God. That's why when some people say you ain't got nothing of God or whatever, you a walking dead man, all of us got a portion of God. But it takes more because the world is so corrupt. We need to allow the Spirit to come into us, His Spirit to dwell with our spirit and coincide with our spirit, therefore giving us more of God because we need more these days. At first, that little bit of spirit that He gave of Adam was good enough. You know what I'm saying? Be fruitful and multiply, have more. Now the call is different. You gotta be good to people that pray for people, pray for your enemy. Somebody tell you to go a mile, go 2 miles. There's more. You need the Spirit of God to coincide with your spirit. But we all got a portion of God. And the flesh is alive also in us as well. Our faith depends on whose path we choose to follow, the path of the traitor or the path of the Creator. With free will and active conscience, we are only truly allowed these two options. Choose wisely. My surrender is never. I will never give in, nor give up. I am determined. I am disciplined, and only God is worthy of my surrendering God. What would seem to be surrender is actually the takeover through faith, 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 faith. Not by what you see. Some people go by directly by what they see out of their eyes. If they can't see it, it ain't real. All I would say to that is peep God's wind. Can't see the wind, but it's real. Excuse me. I think I covered this very well. I tried to. And I would love for people to buy the book, but because there's a lot of stuff in this book, man. I think if you read my book, I know if you read my book and don't become challenged towards change, or change, something ain't right with you, man, or something, because this book, it's in there, man. It's in this book. And I want to be the part that edifies. I want to be the knowledge that edifies. I want people to learn from this and grow from this and really do what I say. I want this to be understood. A lot of people get on these blogs and get on this YouTube and talk in circles. At the end, they talking about the same thing. Never made a point yet. You ain't make no point yet, brother. I'm watching you. And people be hitting them up, liking them. I want to be liked. I got a gift from God, man. I want people to listen, but moreover, man, I want you to grow from the things that I'm talking about. Yo, the time is limited. We are under duress. We will soon be captured by something, someone. And we will have to say, who is our master? And we will have to come after they grab us. We're going to have to wipe the white flag to these people, to this being, and say, I surrender. Who is that being going to be? Surrender it all to God. He going to tell you when it's coming, how it's coming. You be more prepared for it. Not really when it's coming, to that effect. Somewhat, though. You won't be like some people who just waiting around for anything to happen. Don't even know it's the end of the world. It's the end of the world, man. But God's days is not our days. His days is 1 day is as 1,000 years. But it's the end. It might be 3,000 years later, 5,000. But it's the end. This world been like this for a long time. God is not well. You got to surrender to something. That in the middle stuff, God gonna, oh man, you bringing him one coin back. Life. He gave you life. What more did you do with it? You ain't come back with one person that you will help see that the invisible kingdom exists and God is the father of it. You ain't helped one person. You ain't helped two people. You ain't helped nobody. You came back saying, I had life. I lived my life. It's going to be bad for you. Now, this book of mine is a poetry book, y'all. But I go into depth. I explain my poem. So now I'm going to share the poem with you. My Surrender Is Never. Mad poems is in the book. It's really a poetry book, but I go into the depth speaking about my poetry. This is the poem, My Surrender Is Never, and then I'm out. Like I said, it's Lulu, where you can get the book at. My Surrender Is Never. I'm Keo Collins, Keough, Keo. It's Collins, Collins, and the book is My Surrender Is Never. You can get it on lulu.com, LULU.com, shop. Get the book, man. It's out there. People love it. When they get it, they liking it, man. It's doing well. Check out the poem, My Surrender Is Never, and then I'm out. Thanks for listening, all y'all. Springfield and beyond. I love y'all, Springfield. Word, I love y'all, Springfield. Love me too, man. I've been through a lot. My Surrender Is Never. Check it. As I put up my black flag, diminishing white, my surrender and pain is saving my life. Then my Christ made a choice to surrender for all. To me, to never give up is to answer the call. Then I bowed on the prayers of needing my Lord. My surrender remembered, slowly, heeding his sword. Then my surrender is perfect, just the same as his word. So should I die on a cross? Is this what I deserve? So bowing down on one knee is the best I can do, as I count on my blessings and surrender to you. Bowing down on two knees would mean surrendering life. I would rather refuse all of the pain from the knife, as I would envy my pain and give in to the strife. Now the death is correct as I take my respect. The war is all over and the flag is half stabbed. Jehovah Messiah, the gun and the mask. The spirit rejoices as the flesh is angered and jealous. And then I choose my surrender so dark and rebellious. Only strength I embellish. So be strong in the streets because those victims are telling. And remember, never surrender is the story I'm yelling. My surrender, the glory, the death, the assailing. And with my gifts and his love, my surrender is never. I will never surrender to sin or a man, because his grace lives forever. My surrender is never. My surrender is never, y'all. Many more videos to come. Check it out. YouTube, Facebook. Look it up. Keo Collins. Hit me up, man. y'all got any comments, whatever, hit me up. Springfield, Mass, man. Out. Later. Peace.